Hey guys, Kgabinator here, and today we're back with Rasslin and Logic. This new podcast. This is now episode 2 of the podcast, and we're going to review WWE NXT TakeOver WarGames 2020, and I've got my co-host up here, Josh Jenkins. Would you introduce yourself?
Hello, I am indeed here.
So, we're gonna start off. Josh has something to say about these shows before we get into the review, and he said he's gonna have a rant. So, would you please give us that rant, Josh?
Yeah, yesterday, I think I said this, I was in a bad mood because I was having an argument with somebody on Discord who I will not name, even though I could, but I won't. And it was about my... It was about my integrity, so to speak, about me doing this podcast with you. And I was being questioned about whether or not I have the willpower to go through with this podcast. And I would just like to let everyone know who is listening to this podcast that I am here 1,000,000%. I am doing this. I don't give a shit how I don't give a shit if anybody wants to question me about my ability to do this podcast. I am doing this podcast until the very end. And I also just want to quickly mention that I don't have any notes about this show myself.
Oh.
But I have I have seen every single match on this show. So what I am going to base my opinions of and my is based on my memory of what I've seen. And luckily, I have just recently come off for watching the main event, so that is the most fresh match I have in my mind. But we do have Kgabinator here who has made notes that I am aware of, so I think we should be all good going forward.
About that, there are some matches that I fast forwarded through, and I thought you would have the rest of the notes for them. So,
Yeah.
I still do have notes, some notes on all of them, but some of them I didn't have time to watch all of them in their entirety, so I fast forwarded through them. Like this first one, but when I didn't really get the rant that I was looking for. Was that the rant that you said you were gonna give today?
Yes and no. But I'm not really in that like. Okay, I am not in that irritated mood right now, so I'm not really going to shout.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not really in the mood either to rant, because I actually somewhat enjoyed this show. So, yeah, wrestling was pretty good. So, I'll give you the... And remind me, please, to not forget to do the wrestling and logic scale for each match, and for me to let you give your opinions on each of the match. So, the first match, I've actually typed out my notes instead of written them down, because I'm too lazy to write them.
I see.
Match 1, the women's WarGames match. Team Shotzi Blackheart, the captain, Rhea Ripley, my favorite, Ember Moon and the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai. The other day you took issue to this and you didn't like the champions being in WarGames, so what do you want to say about that?
This, to me, was a match that was quite possibly one of the worst WarGames matches I've ever seen in the history of the WarGames match. Because the logic of this...
And we're not being sexist just because it's women. Last year's women's WarGames match, I thoroughly enjoyed that match. Even though Shayna Baszler, who was the champion at the time, got pinned, I still loved that match. But yeah, this one wasn't as good. I didn't like this match. But I'll get it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, well, last year's match I had a big problem with, and I shat all over that at the time, which I'll probably do with this match. I mean, because my main issue with this match, and I don't know why my face is going dark here, but anyway, my main issue with this match is that you are correct, is that it had the NXT Women's Champion in this match, and she was the one who took the loss, which I didn't understand.
Again.
Because yes, the second year, this is the second year in a row that the NXT Women's Champion has entered this match and has come off on the losing end, has come off actually being pinned. Last year it was Rhea Ripley pinning Shayna Baszler, of course, and now this year it was Raquel Gonzalez, if I said her name right, who pinned Io Shirai.
It's just a pet peeve that I have. People pronounce Rhea Ripley's name LeRae. I don't know. What's the story behind that?
I don't really know, but it's probably the different countries with the way they pronounce things.
I say Rhea. You say tomato. I say tomato. You say tomato. Anyway, what were you saying?
Okay. I'll just get straight into this, and then you can go into the match yourself. Okay. My main issue with this is that they were building up this match to be won by the champion, and the reason I say this is that because when it was time for Io Shirai to leave her pod and to enter this match, right? Everyone was trying to keep her out of the ring. They did everything they could to make sure she did not enter the cage, okay? It was Raquel Gonzalez who was kicking the door down and kept pushing Io Shirai onto the outside. It was Toni Storm who wrapped her belt around the door to make sure it was locked in a way so that Io Shirai couldn't, open it and walk inside. They did everything in their power to make sure Io Shirai was kept out of this match. And every time they did that, that had me thinking, oh, okay, I think I understand. They are doing this so that they can build up towards the end so that Io Shirai finally does come in, she kicks everyone asses, and then she scores the pin for her team. Okay, I understand what is going on.
And she took the pin. So they did all of that for nothing.
Yeah, they built her up as the most dangerous person to enter this match because she was the champion, right? They made Io Shirai's theme like the dangerous participant in this entire match, right? She comes into the match finally. By the way, she came in with a trash can on her head. All right.
I actually have that spot saved on my phone. Let me show you. Hold on. Where is it at?
Okay.
I got it. What?
Hold
on. Wait.
Video this match.
Let me. Damn it. I'm sorry.
Any moment now.
Yeah.
Any moment now.
Give me a second now. Where is it? Well, I must post it on Twitter.
But anyway, as you're looking for that, I'll just continue on.
Found it.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah. There we go. Anyway, what were you saying?
Well, as you've shown there, that's probably a signifier of how this match was booked. You know, trash. Yeah. So as I was saying, like, my main problem with this is that they built Io Shirai up as the most dangerous participant in this match. They kept doing everything they could to keep her out of this match. Just then, when she does enter this ring, they go the opposite way and have her take the loss. I absolutely fucking hated this with everything in sight. This was absolutely stupid, and it made everything that they were doing up to this point completely pointless.
And everything they were doing didn't even need to happen. They were using gimmicks and weapons and all this stuff. That's unnecessary stuff. I typed out here. Why do they need so many freaking weapons and gimmicks to use on each other? I saw very few bumps taken on the actual cage. So the cage might as well not have been there.
That is true. And also, these two teams were basically randomly put together at the last minute just for the purposes of this match.
And this makes me scared for AEW when eventually they have their blood and guts match, their WarGames version. Their version of the WarGames match. I'm afraid that they're gonna use gimmicks and nobody's gonna take bump on the cage, and it's gonna be a garbage indie style match, and nobody's gonna sell. Or it's gonna be all the problems with AEW matches all in a big match. So you guys better do this properly. Do like the men did with the WarGames, like later on.
The men put on one of the best WarGames matches I've ever seen.
Yeah,
which is funny because we start off the match.
And again, we're not trying to be sexist.
No.
Not at all. It's just that that match was booked terribly, and there were too many gimmicks and not enough cage bumps. They were actually using the cage in the men's WarGames, and not even that many gimmicks until the end. It progressed up slowly, and it only got crazy at the end, and they were actually using wrestling moves. So yeah.
But we'll get into the men's WarGames match later on when we get to that. But what I also want to mention about the WarGames match itself is that it's basically a double-sided steel cage. So therefore, if you're not going to use the steel cage portion to your advantage, then what's the point in that being a thing to begin with?
Yeah. So now I didn't take. I couldn't
I just
find.
wanted to make that point.
So now I didn't take that many notes at the beginning. I posted them all. I think it was Dakota Kai and Ember Moon that came out first, and they were doing some stuff.
Yes. And Wade Barrett on commentary called them the Iron Women of this match.
Huh? Why is that? Why?
Look, Wade Barrett basically called them the Iron Women of this match, even though that wasn't the word he used, but that is what I basically remember him saying. In that these two women were selected for this match for each team because they had the most energy. They had the most okay, basically they could go throughout this entire match without the need to take a breather, you know. But anyway, that is what Wade said. Okay.
And now the two girls are fighting, and now a Shotzi Blackheart comes out, the captain, with a toolbox, a whole toolbox, and this is where I said, why do they need gimmicks? Is the cage not enough to beat them? And then I just had a random thought, because I saw Dakota Kai, and it reminded me of last year's match. Where's Tegan Knox? Did she get hurt again? Did they call her up to the main roster?
No. Tegan Knox, you know her knee.
Yeah.
It's got re-injured all over again.
Oh my gosh.
And this quite possibly could be a career-threatening injury. But
and last year when
time will tell.
Last year when Dakota Kai turned heel and she was banging the door against Tegan Knox's knee, man, she was selling like crazy. She was screaming in pain and like crazy. I love when people sell like that, and I also like when Rhea Ripley sells it, which is why she's one of my favorites. So Shotzi comes in with a toolbox, and I hate it. And now I didn't. I think I may fast forward through whatever Shotzi was doing, and then by the way, I like Shotzi Blackheart. I like how energetic she is. I like how she's one of the front runners of that women's division. And the tank's a little goofy, but she's alright. And she's not bad in the ring. A bit too indie, but alright. So now Raquel Gonzalez is coming into the structure. And now the two girls, Dakota Kai is in the second ring selling, and two girls, Shotzi and Ember, are trying to fight Raquel Gonzalez, but then Raquel Gonzalez is too strong and separates them. And now I had another random thought. Where's that Ashante Adonis guy that we saw at TakeOver 31? And he looked promising. He cut a nice promo, a nice introductory promo. Where do you think he's been? Maybe he has appeared on one of these TV episodes, which I haven't been watching.
Who?
Ashanti Adonis. He cut a little backstage promo. Yeah, I even tweeted about it. Anyway, so all the girls are fighting, uh, and I just think, why aren't uh, why aren't any of the girls trying to use any of the tools in the toolbox? And and then Dakota Kai, I think the girl spilled into the second ring, and Dakota Kai was in the first ring, and then she got onto the top rope and did a nice looking springboard, I don't know, jump onto all the baby faces and Raquel. Um, Now, my favorite, Rhea Ripley, comes in, and I've got a big, wild smile on my face because I love Rhea Ripley, and she's great, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And now she started beating up Dakota Kai, and she slams her on the ground, and then she finally uses the toolbox that Shotzi Blackheart brought in earlier, and then she takes out a sledgehammer, and she actually uses the right end of it, the hard end of it, and it hits. I didn't write down who she was hitting that sledgehammer with. I can't remember, but it was Dakota Kai. It was Dakota Kai. And now she takes off her belt, and instead of trying to whip her with it, which would have looked nice, she wraps it around Dakota Kai's waist and headbutts her, which I thought was a little stupid. And now Dakota Kai is hitting, I don't know, somebody is hitting Rhea Ripley, and she's selling, and I'm just saying there, how much more can I stress? Uh, I can't I can't stress enough how good Rhea Ripley is at selling. She can sell like crazy. She's screaming in pain. She's rolling around and and really making it look like it hurt. And wow, just great. And then Rhea Ripley gets Irish whipped into the exposed steel turnbuckle, and then as she's selling again like crazy and screaming, and then fast forward through a few minutes, and Ember Moon is getting attacked, and I also said that she can sell good as well. And then now all the girls are doing this goofy spot where they all are gathering up on the top turnbuckle of each ring, and then they all do this big spot where they fall off. And I say that I really don't like these spots. I hate them because they require obvious cooperation, and it makes it look fake and stupid. But now Io Shirai comes in. Did I say when Toni Storm comes in? I don't know. Did Io Shirai came out? Do you remember if Toni Storm came in before her or what?
Fuck. I have no idea, man. I was making notes about this, man.
Damn it. Anyway, Io comes in, the NXT Women's Champion, and obviously you've made your rant about how you hate the champions coming in unless they win, which wasn't really a problem in the men's side.
Well, it was, actually.
And I agree with you with your rant about champions being in WarGames, because they may have to take a loss, and it's stupid. And I found out that I didn't know who actually won, but I know that Team LeRae won. I didn't know who took the pin though, so I didn't want anybody in the Discord to spoil it. I actually posted these on Discord, and then I pasted them here on my notes. And I've already said what I think of gimmicks in WarGames, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
And Raquel Gonzalez is shutting the gate on EO so that she can't get in the cage. But eventually EO, and I thought EO finally managed to get in. But then I spoke too soon. I think Tony Storm did get in before EO. So EO is trying to get in. And now Candice LeRae finally is the last woman to get in, and her new valet manager lackey Indy Hartwell, who I've heard of but I haven't seen much of, and she came and hit EO from behind. And then she took the key and locked up the cage, and she hid the key inside her bra, which was disgusting a little bit. And then she challenged the referees to go after her and try to take the key from her, which would have required one of them to do some explicit stuff to her. And now EO finally gets in with the garbage can on her head and jumps on everybody. I showed you guys that spot.
Yeah.
And the match finally begins. And now EO and Rhea did this nice looking assisted DDT. I didn't write down who they did it on. And now all of them are making a comeback. And now they've piped in a fake NXT chant, which I don't like. I think it should just be the sound of the guys.
It's not the first time that they've put in that NXT chant into the show. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time that they do it.
Yeah, the Kevin Dunn hard at work back there. And now and Ember Moon again is selling nicely as well, and then she's now setting up a steel chair apparatus to do a spot on, and I said that no, they don't need all these gimmicks in the structure. They need the cage, and fast forward to the rest of the match because that's stupid. And I'd forgotten to say that when that Io Shirai was stuck inside the garbage can, and then Dakota Kai did a nice looking double stomp on her, and she actually had an injury from that, which wouldn't have happened had they not been so stupid to put all those gimmicks in the match. And I'll fast forward to the end, and now Raquel Gonzalez is on the top turnbuckle between the two rings, and there's a ladder sitting flat in between the ropes, and either Raquel has a power bomb, the EO is either in a powerbomb position or a choke slam position. Anyway, Raquel slams her through the ladder and then she pins her. What the hell? Why?
I think Raquel had Io in the razor's edge position. And secondly, Io Shirai, who is the NXT Women's Champion, by the way, in case nobody knew that, took the actual pinfall loss for her team. Fuck's sake. Now, I could rant about this, but I'm not really going to, because I think you all know what to say anyway. I already basically mentioned it earlier. And another thing about this that I just want to bring up is that do you agree? Okay. I'm not asking if you understand what the rules of the WarGames match is. I'm asking you if you agree with the rules that the match has.
I don't know, but I guess I agree with them. I'm guessing you don't.
Because I'm mixed about it. Because you have the first... Because look, technically speaking, the match doesn't start properly until everyone has entered the cage, which means, look, there was a lot of times in this match before everyone entered the cage, right, in that a pinfall attempt or a submission attempt could have happened. There was a lot of times when somebody, I felt like, could have gone for the pin, but they weren't allowed to, because the rules dictates that they're not allowed to until everyone has engaged. To me, there should be a ruling in that every time somebody enters the cage, at least one pinfall attempt is allowed to happen, or at least one submission attempt is allowed to happen, because otherwise it's just
it goes on forever,
and it just defeats the whole point for me. I understand that the entire point is to do as much damage to the teammate as you can until the very end. I just don't like seeing no pinfalls or no submissions happening. Okay, you know how the strap match happened later on, right? And the match, right? And they basically brawled before the referee signaled for the bell to be rang.
Yeah, I didn't really like that.
It's basically like that. It's basically fighting in the cage before the actual match in the cage actually begins. That's how I see it. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of the rules per se about the WarGames match. I think the rules should be a bit tweaked here and there to make a little bit more sense to what's actually going on. But the men later on actually make this to be a lot more easier to watch, because they made it seem like it wasn't too complicated. But anyway, we've got more matches to go through, so I'm going to send you over now to Kgabinator to do that.
Yeah, now we have a promo by Finn Balor, which was good. And he said enjoy the war games, but as soon as they're done, it's back to Finn Balor. And I like this. Finn Balor is intimidating. He looks at you. He stares at you. And it's scary. And he looks scary when he cuts his promos. And which is what I miss about some of the heels. They're not scary anymore. Like it, uh, when you look at Finn Balor and you see him staring into the camera like that, one time he cut this promo. Remember in June when they did that mysterious angle where somebody attacked him, and then he cut that promo. I will find whoever attacked me and I will beat them up. That promo was scary. He was intimidating and he cut a very good promo. I love Finn Balor. He's in my top 5. Maybe besides Walter, he's one of the best wrestlers ever. I love Finn Balor. What did you think?
I thought this did its job. I thought this did a good job of having Finn Balor state his case about why he's the champion and why everybody should fear him as being the champion. I thought this was great. And also, in a way, it made him seem more important and more destructive than the actual WarGames match itself. Yeah. Which I like and I don't like at the same time. But I thought this promo was a success. So, but I want to mention quickly about his reign as the champion, because we haven't really seen him since the last takeover, really, because he got hurt in that match against Kyle O'Reilly, and he hasn't really had a match since, and he hasn't really
hurt his jaw.
And he hasn't really defended it since, which I don't like at all. I actually could go on a rant about this now, but I'm not. Finn's reign has been terrible only because he hasn't really had the chance to have his reign really since TakeOver 31. So yeah, hopefully we actually start to see him in matches now and actually see him defending his title now going forward.
So now the second match, Tommaso Ciampa. I can never spell his name. It's either Tomasso or TOMMASSO, but now it's TOMMASO. Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher. I like Timothy Thatcher. He looks intimidating. He's a good technical grappler or wrestler. I like him. His promos are alright. They're scripted, but he sounds good. So now Ciampa comes out to his music, and then Thatcher comes out after him to his music, and now the bell rings, and they're having a good grappling match. I actually like this quite a bit. This, besides the WarGames match, this was the match of the night. So now I think this is an okay match so far. So Wade Barrett mentions that Timothy Thatcher had to do a job on TV to Kushida. And Kushida's not bad, but he's just so small, and like it's hard to take him seriously as a threat. He doesn't have a goofy gimmick like Orange Cassidy or people like that, but he's just a bit too small for my taste. So now I found out that he had to do a job on TV for Kushida. Timothy Thatcher, a great looking guy, a great promo, a good wrestler, and he has to do a job for Kushida. Who's mad at him? Triple H, Vince? What's going on there? Why? So, and Ciampa is just disturbingly bald. His veins are coming out. That was just a random thought I had. And now he makes a nice looking comeback. Now I didn't like Ciampa that much. I didn't hate him. I didn't dislike him. He was meh with me, but after this match, I thought he was pretty good. So now Superplex by Ciampa, and there was a replay while the guys were on the mat selling, and Thatcher is bleeding from the ear after Ciampa gave him a knee, and it looked pretty cool. And Ciampa tried to hit his finish, the Willow's Bell DDT, but then Thatcher is holding his wrists, and then he jumped down from the apron, and then Ciampa's neck hit the top rope, and Ciampa actually sold really well. I don't know if it was for real, but that's the idea of selling, to make things look like they hurt and make it look like it's real. So now Ciampa finally hits Willow's Bell for the win. So I'm just gonna say it again because I don't think you heard it. So now Ciampa sold for his throat, his neck, and then he finally hit his finish for the win, which was good.
Yeah.
They didn't kick out of finishes, which I actually appreciated. So what? I forgot to say Rasslin and Logic for the first match. You didn't remind me.
Oh shit! Sorry. Okay. How about we do that at the end?
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that at the end. I should write it. Actually remind myself about the Rasslin and Logic scale. So for this match,
yeah,
I'll say give Rasslin 8 and Logic an 8, because I didn't really find anything illogical in this match. I don't really pay attention to that stuff a lot. So this was a great match.
Yeah.
So what's your scale?
I didn't really find much. I, who actually do pay attention to those types of things during a match because they are important, I didn't actually find much of any issue with this match, which made me happy. So I'll give the Logic a. Okay. I'm gonna give the Logic a 6 because I am not only basing that off this match alone, but I am basing that off the reason why these two are even having a match to to begin with.
Yeah. It did look kind of just thrown together in like 2 weeks.
Now, I'll be honest, okay? I haven't seen a single episode of NXT since July the 1st, and that's a long time ago, okay? I don't have any idea if this match between them here actually makes sense to happen. I have no idea, but I got the sense, as you've just said, Kgabo, is that I felt like this was just randomly put together at the last minute just for a match to happen on this show.
You know, I'm gonna, at the end of this episode, I'm gonna teach you how to say my name properly, so hold on for that.
Yes. Yes, I hope you do, because I've always felt a bit nervous trying to say your name. Yeah. Anyway.
So now we have. Oh, my bad. What? Okay, there we go. I just let me just get rid of this.
Oh, please don't tell me we have a problem.
No, it's not a problem. It's just a
note
okay. That it was just an argument I had with someone in the Discord before I took notes on this next match. So now.
Wait, what?
So somebody in the Discord posted an advertisement for Cameron Grimes versus Tommaso Ciampa on NXT this past week, and they took issue to it. So I felt that they were.
You mean Rel sucker?
Yes. Yes.
Which is what he calls himself. Which is what he call. Oh, damn it. Which is what he calls himself. So that's not us, calling him that.
Yeah. I felt that with him, like he was trying to be cool, saying that match is gonna suck, because I'm just gonna go into a little rant here. Over the past few months, it's been made cool to hate on NXT because it's not the same as it used to be last year or even 2018. That's when I heard it was at its peak. So even though it's not the same as it was back then, I still don't think it should be the cool thing to just rip on everything that they do. So yeah. That's just a problem I have with the community. And next week, I might actually go do a deep dive on the community with this whole Wednesday Night War bullshit and why I hate it.
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh yes. I would love to fucking do that, because I have had a problem with this with this community for a long time, as you may know, because I have on several times now already I have already wanting to take a break away from wrestling because of this fucking community, right? And I have kept coming back because at the end of the day, right, I am not the problem here. So why am I fucking listening to fucking assholes on the assholes, right, who are telling me to fucking keep my mouth shut about something that, you don't even know and you don't even understand anything about this thing. Fuck you, right? I am not the problem, okay? In fact, I am trying to fucking fix the fucking problem that is these wrestling shows, right? We are doing this podcast right now to fucking state what is wrong about these shows and what is good about these shows. Right, we are fucking are stating what is logical and what is not logical. We are stating what is a good match and what is not a good match. Okay, we are trying to actually pinpoint the issue, right? We are trying to address the issue, and we are trying to give solutions on how to rectify the issues. We are not the problem, for fuck's sake. But anyway, I will go into that next week with you, 100% guaranteed.
Okay.
And I noticed that you were laughing there quite a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that. I'm gonna like
Jesus.
that. So now,
I did not expect to say any of that just now. So.
So now,
anyway,
the third match, Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis in a strap match. Now, I said before, one of the days this past week, it actually took me most of the week to watch this because I just felt like doing other things, and by the way, speaking of other things, you might see that I've got some stuff on my wall, and it'll get bigger, I promise, as the show continues. By next week, I might have some new posters up there. I've got a batch of them on my bedside stool, and I'm gonna paste them on my wall sometime, maybe today. Anyway, so Cameron Grimes comes out. I just quickly want to do a deep dive on Cameron Grimes. I love Cameron Grimes. He's such a great wrestler. He looks good. He looks somewhat like, well, not really like an athlete, but he looks good. His look fits his character perfectly. This southern guy who is a hillbilly, not necessarily redneck, but a backwoods hillbilly southern guy that doesn't look like the guy who a woman would want to be with or be around, much less be around. He's a good heel. He's believable. His promos are a bit scripted. The accent's a little goofy, but he's just so great, and he's great in the ring. I love that double stomp that he does. I can't stress enough how good he is, and he's just so good. I love Cameron Grimes. And before that, by the way, Lumis came out. I'm a little mixed on Lumis. I like how he's scary, and he looks like a guy that would just strange guy in the hallway would stare at you. But it's still a little bit too supernatural. Not just downright Matt Hardy, goofy, unbelievable supernatural. I hate that gimmick, man. But it's still a little bit too weird for me. He's okay in the ring. He works like a big guy. What do you think of Cameron Grimes, by the way?
I like Cameron Grimes. I think he has potential. His gimmick is basically him being a wrestler, which I like. His attire is fitting for him. I personally don't have any issue with Cameron Grimes, except sometimes with the way he gets booked.
Yes, I'm going to get to that now. Just now. And
and you said that Dexter Lumis. Okay, I just want to say that Dexter Lumis would be more fitting in a like Frankenstein like movie than he does as a wrestler in this ring. And that's not a bad thing that I'm saying here. It's just that his character is more of a psychological movie than he is like an actual wrestling character.
So Lumis comes out, and now they're getting a shot on the referee, Daryl Sharma, the Canadian Arab referee, who was a zombie referee in that freaking hilariously goofy House of Horrors match at Halloween Harvard. That
Wait, what?
There was a match that they did at Halloween Havoc where it was this really goofy match where they made Cameron Grimes look like an idiot.
I haven't seen it, so
I don't think you'll like it at all. I was just laughing at how goofy it is and what certain people would think about it. So yeah. So now they get a shot of Daryl Sharma, who was in that House of Horrors match, and they don't even explain why the camera's focusing on him. Now, they could have given him a graphic saying Daryl Sharma he's your referee for this match. He's officiating this match. Nobody said anything about why the camera was on him. The announcers, you and I are their new viewers, and they're not saying why this guy is on our television screens. In my case, my phone screen. Because I was watching this on my phone.
Okay.
Then we're the new viewers, so they need to explain why the hell this guy is on our respective screens, and they failed to do that. So now
I'm sorry. I'm not exactly I'm not exactly a new viewer, but
a returning viewer.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now Cameron Grimes is starting the match, and he's stomping on Dexter Lumis in the corner. And now they just go outside to fight outside there, which I hate. They do it in every match. They did it in the Omega Moxley match that we reviewed last week, and I hated that as well. They were fighting outside there for so long. This wasn't as long. I don't know if it was. They did some spots. And by the way, the bell hadn't even rung yet. And now he was actually Cameron Grimes was actually dominant on Lumis, and then he started to make a nice looking comeback, and he's really wailing on Grimes, and he finally puts the strap on his hand, and the match officially starts, and Lumis started to look dominant. At least that's what I thought, but I spoke too soon. And now Lumis does this, and I said, "Where's Excalibur when you need him?" You know how Excalibur on AEW explains all the indie moves, all those goofy moves. So then I had a screen recording I'll open it now. So it was Cameron Grimes perched. The I think that Lumis tried to Irish whip him into the. Let me just show you here.
Okay.
Trying to climb into the end of the universe. This is not a good idea. You're tied to that strap. Nowhere for Grimes to go. Except into the waiting hands of Lumis.
Yeah. That was it. So that's what happened. Of course, I need Excalibur to help me here. And now Lumis.
I mean, that was basically just a punch.
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, my foot, man, it's really giving me problems. Lumis yanks Grimes into the barricade twice, actually. And now, and Lumis is really beating up Cameron Grimes, and Grimes is selling, and he's selling well. I didn't make notes of how good he was at selling, and now this happens. Hold on. Come on.
And now, Lumis.
They're taking a bump on the...
Into the barricade, and now it's Cameron Grimes trying to answer back, and
Yeah, that's what happened. Because I didn't really have time to I couldn't explain what happened there. And now Lumis is peeking over the barricade, like, and then he nice looking face there. And then Grimes yanks him back into the ringside area, and then it's like, man, I'm gonna start fast forwarding to when they get back in the ring. Now they're back in the ring, and Grimes is making good use of that strap, and he's whipping Lumis with it. And now Lumis makes a comeback and gives Grimes a spine buster, and I had a random thought, and I said, I don't really want to rip on anybody in particular here, but Wade Barrett, also known as Stu Bennett, is just complete another dog feces on the mic booth, and I don't like him, and something happened here. I have to take off my phone 3 times now. What? Oh yeah. So Lumis is on the outside. He's pulling. He's got the strap wrapped around goddamn Grimes. I wanted to say he was choking him, but he wasn't. Grimes had the strap between his 2 arms, so he couldn't. Lumis, maybe he tried to choke him, but Grimes was stopping him from doing that. And then there was just this constant noise in the arena. People were shaking the fence like, and I hated it. I was like, somebody tell these bums to stop shaking the fence, and it's driving me batshit crazy. And then I just, man, I'll watch this later. I'm gonna have breakfast. This was yesterday morning, actually. I was like, shake, 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 non-stop. And then I decided not to finish off that match, and I fast forward to the finish, and let me see what happened. So goddamn Grimes has his leg. Let me just show you. I have to do this so many times.
Dexter Lumis must be very happy with the work he did here tonight.
Yeah, these two men knew each other so well. The closing moments of this match. Dexter Lumis finally finding the key to victory here. Slapping the sides even though Grimes would struggle to get out of it. Lumis would drag him deep, deep into the dark waters.
And then it was Dexter.
Finally, muzzle.
I don't know what that hole is.
That's basically the Cobra clutch.
Cobra clutch, okay.
Basically,
now, there's some miscellaneous stuff that happens in between these things. I should add.
Okay, before you move on,
Rasslin and logic scale.
No. Hold on. Before you move on, to me, I was watching this match, right? And I was seeing the video package that was aired before this match, right? And the story about this entire thing between Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes, right?
I forgot about that.
It's okay because I'm going over it now. The entire story about this, right, is that this was a match in that Cameron Grimes was facing his fear. This was a match and a story overall about Cameron Grimes going up against what he fears and overcoming his fear. I didn't get the sense at the end of this match that they did exactly what they set out to do. To me, Cameron Grimes, he didn't come off this like he was
Somebody
no longer
to be
scared.
Taken seriously.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, Cameron Grimes came off this like he was still scared of Dexter Lumis, and he look. During this match, right, Cameron Grimes was acting scared to actually attack Dexter Lumis at times. And I understand that was the story, but I just didn't like what they were going for here. But as for the logic and wrestling scale of this match, I would give the wrestling a 4 at the highest, personally, and I would give the logic a 0.
I give this match wrestling out of 10 a 5, and logic 2. So.
The reason I'm giving this a 0 for the logic is quite simple. One, they had a match basically before the match even started. Like, what the fuck was that all about? Like, 2, where was the countouts? 3, this match didn't really make any sense, just overall.
Yeah, it was just the guys hitting each other with stuff and all this.
And also, and also, like, they had a fucking blindfold match before this, and Cameron Grimes paid tribute to that match by putting Dexter in a blindfold, and I thought that was fucking stupid.
I didn't notice that. Maybe I was fast forwarding, so I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So there's some there's some miscellaneous stuff going on. There was an ad for Keith Lee's WWE 24 documentary. The production is quite good there. The lighting is okay. A good looking package for Keith Lee's documentary. I don't really care much.
It's a shame that I don't care though, because Keith Lee, ever since he's come up to Raw, has been a disaster.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. It's a pity that I don't care anymore. I would watch it if he was.
Yeah. And also his final few months in NXT for when he was on there was absolute bullshit as well. So it's not just on his time on Raw that is a disaster, really. It was his final few months on NXT as well. Anyway, as you were saying.
So now, Vic Joseph. No. Before that, Pat McAfee's team and the Undisputed Era are shown in their respective locker rooms getting ready for their match later tonight. And Vic Joseph, he advertised Mattel WarGames playset. I actually saw on social media that him and Mackenzie Mitchell have started dating, and I congratulate them. Well done, you guys. I hope you guys have a good relationship. So now the lights start flickering after Vic Joseph's advertised playset. And a video of clocks and birds starts playing, and TikTok and all that stuff. So it's obviously a tease for Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux's return on this past week's episode. It looks like you weren't pleased with that.
No, I was happy with this teaser. The way that the commentary team sold this, though, after the teaser was played, made it seem like unimportant, and they made it seem like it was just they didn't sell it.
So now we have a video package advertising the upcoming NXT North American Championship match with Leon Ruff. My bad. I'm sorry if that offends Leo Rush. I'm so used to saying Leo Rush. I said Leon Ruff now. So they advertise a this match with Leon Ruff, North American champion, and Damian Priest, who should still be the champion, versus Johnny Gargano. And I really don't like Johnny Gargano. I don't like Candice LeRae either. I think they're playing heel. Well, Candice not so much. She actually gets being a heel. But Johnny, he's playing heel instead of being a heel, and I really don't like it. I don't like his promos. He has no facials. He's okay in the ring, but I just don't like him. I never liked him ever since I saw him for the first time in, I think, December last year, or maybe even January. Ever since he shilled for that Star Wars movie that everybody hated, and for bad wrestling, I was ready to not like him because he was already making an ass out of himself on social media, so I was ready to not like him. And I don't like him now. And he's yeah. Leon.
Is it his character that you don't like, or is it his moveset as well that you don't like?
It's his character that I don't like.
Okay.
He's got no facials, no anger, no excitement, no nothing, no hatred, no evil, no nothing, no facials. So yeah. So he's playing heel instead of being a heel. And Leon, he has potential. He looks determined, but he's so small. He's painfully thin. They should have built him up first and given him some wins over the other job guys. But having seen what they've done with him, they made him do a 90-second job to Karrion Kross when he debuted. So now that's why people hated it when he won the North American Championship. But they could have done something with him had they built him up properly. This is sort of another Otis story, but not exactly. What do you think about Leon Ruff?
Leon Ruff never should have rushed himself into the title scene.
That's basically what I said.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I'm not happy with his title reign. I'm not happy with his booking. I'm not happy with any of this because I find this to be bullshit. I don't like his character either because I'm not connecting with him at this stage because, as you said, he's not had enough time to build up his character and he's not had enough time to build up himself in the ring yet for us to actually connect with what they're trying to tell here.
He's good he's pretty good in the ring and he can sell his ass off. But He's good. He's a good underneath babyface. Leon Ruff.
But my main issue with it is the storyline and the creative direction that they've been on so far. That's my main issue. Is that it doesn't make any sense with the logic of things. And also, before you carry on here, the NXT North American Championship has already been booked as a disaster for the entire year. So I'm not really surprised that they're ending the year continuing on booking it as a disaster.
Oh,
I mean, we are in 2020.
Not even Keith Lee. Was his reign not even good?
No, I mean no, because when he became the double champion, that was absolute bullshit.
Yeah, that was stupid. They were trying to get one up on AEW.
I mean, Keith Lee fucking dropped. He fucking vacated the North American title like a week or two after he fucking became the double champion. I hated that. That was.
Oh God. Oh God.
Basically, I hated that booking. Sorry, microphone. Sorry for that. Talk about... Okay. Last episode, I gave you the highlight of me having a heart attack about the recording. This week, I've given you a moment about me almost smashing my microphone in half, about me being mad at Keith Lee.
Yeah, and I also might have a heart attack with the audio of this.
Wait, what?
I've clicked away from the window to check the notes, but we'll see.
Oh, no.
I'm still nervous. Just thinking about it, I'm getting goosebumps, but hopefully it'll still come out well. Anyway.
Well then, it's a good thing that I can tell you then that I am recording on my side as well, just in case it's not working on yours.
Great. Perfect. So now...
Anyway...
So now, the NXT North American Championship... Oh, shut up, Twitter.
Yes.
Just shut up. I'm trying to record here. So... no, I have to clear my throat so many times here. NXT North American Championship match with Leon Ruff, the champion, versus Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano. So they already cut a bit off of Damian Priest's entrance. He was already in the ring doing his pose.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I said that I would watch this match. I think this morning. Yeah, this morning I watched the first match. And then before I went to bed last night, I saw a video on YouTube of this guy named Tyler Rust. Please shut up. I'm trying to record here. This guy is Tyler Rust in this video. He used to be Russ Taylor. I saw him have a good scientific grappling wrestling match with Tracy Williams, a guy who I really like on Ring of Honor TV. In September when they did that pure wrestling tournament, and I put him over on Twitter, and I hopefully will see some Tracy Williams. I'm gonna show you just how good he is, and I think you might like him. Anyway, I'm excited to see what NXT does with him. Hopefully they don't make him scared of zombies. So now, Johnny Gargano, the champion, he comes out to his new music, and then Leon Ruff comes out, and he's the champion, and he's painfully thin. I alluded to that when we had our rant about the booking of the North American Championship. Gargano and Leon Ruff are fighting each other. Hold on. Before that, Alicia Taylor, who's a good ring announcer, introduces all the wrestlers and said this is a match for the NXT North American Championship. So now the bell rings and the match starts. And Damian Priest, the first goddamn second, they throw Damian Priest outside to the ring, and I don't like it. Because Damian Priest, in my opinion, should still be the champion. And Gargano and Ruff are fighting each other, and Damian Priest tries to get into the ring, and Johnny Gargano kicks him, and I'm feeling so bad for Damian Priest right now, and I see Leon Ruff is selling, and my gosh, this guy can sell his ass off. God damn. And now Damian Priest is back in the ring and he's throwing some good, believable looking punches to Johnny Gargano in the corner, which is where he's belong because he's dog shit and I don't like him. And Leon Ruff tries to take over from Priest, but then Damian Priest tells him to get out of his way and throws him on the outside. And then I did a screen recording where Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest were fighting, and then Leon Ruff is on the top turnbuckle and he does this nice looking drop kick, and that looked good. And now, fast forward a few minutes, Johnny and Leon are double teaming Damian Priest. They're punching him, and then they kick him and they throw him out of the ring. And I'm like so mad. Who did Damian Priest piss off? They're burying him. I hate this. And then Gargano is on the outside. He said he did a dive onto Damian Priest, and then he told Leon Ruff to go do another dive. And then Johnny surprises him and does a nice looking springboard spear through in between the ropes. I like that. I've actually got that here. Let me give you a visual representation.
Again, working together, but it's Gargano who played it in Leon Ruff. Springboard spear.
Let me play that again one more time if you didn't see it.
And again, working together, but it's Gargano who played it in Leon Ruff. Springboard spear.
Yeah, that was good looking.
And again,
so now Damian Priest yanks Gargano to the outside and he starts to beat him up on the outside. Fast forward a few seconds and then Ruff is on the stage, the front stage, and he tries from the other side and tries to jump on Priest, crossbody position. And then Damian Priest gives him Razor's Edge through the plexiglass. And all the referees, you look like you weren't pleased with that. Or do you want to say something? Okay. So all the referees check on Leon Ruff. And then and he's selling and he's gone away to be checked up on. And then Gargano and Priest are fighting on the outside, and then nope, fast forward. And Gargano tried to hit one final beat, and Priest caught him and tried to hit Reckoning. But then they get back in the ring, and Priest gets a nice comeback on Johnny's same face. I think that's here written on my notes. And I just decided to fast forward through the rest of the match. And having thought that you took some notes of this match going towards the end, but Gargano won with a final beat since you didn't take any notes. First of all, the Rasslin and Logic Hill. Rasslin, I will give this a 7 Logic 3 because they kept fighting on the outside and I didn't like that. So what do you think?
Okay. I do have a problem with Leon Ruff's
bump through the plexiglass.
Hang on. I'm just trying to think of how to say this. Okay, I have a problem with the way that Leon Ruff was used in this match. For the most part, they treated him like a child who was afraid to act like a champion that he was. And I couldn't accept that, because if you're a champion, then one, you are technically the best that there is to offer, right? And two, you are supposed to be the most believable wrestler that there is, because you are the champion, okay? They broke both of those in this match with Leon Ruff. This was a rough match to get through. It really was. Fuck's sake. Damian Priest, right, with that spot that you were referencing earlier, when he gave him the Razor's Edge powerbomb through the plexiglass barricade thing, right? I didn't like that, because it made Leon Ruff look like a complete joke, who wasn't able to defend himself and wasn't able to. He was treated like a child. I'm having difficulty trying to not get angry about this. Okay, so that's why I'm taking this slow here. Why are you laughing?
I'm just remembering when you arranged over the booking of the title and the bump that Leon Ruff took through the barricade. That combined made me laugh.
Okay. Okay. You know why I couldn't take that spot seriously is that because that would be the same spot somebody would use to take out somebody like Brock Lesnar. And they are doing that spot to take out the most dominant champion of all time, Leon Ruff? Like, are you kidding me? Like, if anybody is going to take that spot in this match, it should be Damian Priest. Johnny Gargano and Leon Ruff should be teaming together to take out Damian Priest, because Damian Priest is the most fuck.
The biggest guy in the match.
No. Damian Priest is the biggest threat there is to them, right? And yet they are treating Leon Ruff as the biggest threat? Like, what?
And I didn't like how Damian Priest was. I'm actually gonna take away wrestling points, so it goes down to a 6 because of how they were treating Damian Priest. They are making him look like a. Anyway.
My scale of wrestling and logic, which is the podcast, by the way. Wrestling, I'll give it a. So no, I'm going to change my number here. I'm going to give it a 5, and my logic, I'm going to give it a 0. So yeah.
That was that. Let me just.
Oh, and Johnny Gargano getting the win, becoming a 3rd time North American champion was stupid to me, because he never should have lost the the North American Championship to Leon Ruff to begin with.
He shouldn't even have won the freaking championship to begin with.
That's true as well, because
they only gave Damian Priest 2 months as champion. Now they're gonna give this goofball the freaking 6.
I'll go even further back, right? Damian Priest never should have won the title in the way he did, because Keith Lee never should have fucking vacated it to begin with. Jesus Christ, this fucking title is absolute trash. Anyway.
So now, I actually want to advertise our social media. We'll have links in the description. You can follow us on our Twitter, on each of our respective Twitter accounts, and our podcast Twitter. I'll put those in the link. You can follow us on Instagram. Josh doesn't have Instagram, but I do. You can join our Discord. A lot of conversations on there between a few different people, and subscribe and give this video a like, and we'll all be happy. So
and also, where's that fucking tweet? Quick. And also, we are on a 10.
Yes. So this because it's also available on all.
Wait a minute.
We're still waiting for Google, but most major podcast platforms. We're still waiting for Google, but you can listen on Spotify, iTunes.
Hang on. You can listen to, of course, on this platform being YouTube, as you are watching this on right now, of course. You can also catch it on Podbean. I can't even say that.
Stitcher.
Okay, sorry. You can catch it on Podbean, Stitcher, Player FM, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Deezer, TuneIn, Listen Notes, and of course iTunes. Woo!
Or Apple Podcasts, or whatever you iPhone people like to use. So anyway, there's an advertisement for NXT New Year's Evil playing on January 6, 2021. You think, should we review that when it happens, or should we leave it?
I have a question about that. Is that a special weekly episode, or is that a takeover special?
It's a TV special on USA.
Oh, fucking course it is.
Well,
we can.
Is AEW doing anything on January the 6th? That's actually my sister's birthday. I'm not going to reveal her name.
Oh, okay.
And my birthday is up in 5 days on Wednesday. Yes, which I'm excited for. I'm turning 16 on that day. So anyway, I guess we'll review that.
You know what? Yeah.
TV.
You know what? Yes. Yeah.
We'll
yes.
review
Okay.
that.
Yes.
Unless AEW is doing anything on that day, then we'll review that instead. Oh boy.
Time will tell.
And by the way, we're not gonna do any AEW or NXT reviews for the rest of the year, because I'm fed up with both products, especially AEW, because all the goofy stuff that I'm doing, I'm done with them. We're only going to review their pay-per-views and TV specials. Same with NXT. I might watch NXT for certain matches, and we'll review those individual matches. We'll review those matches individually on the not every match on that show that I want to see, but the match that I want to see on that show, we'll review it on one of the episodes. But for these last 3 episodes of 2020. No AEW, no NXT, no current wrestling. We'll talk about some stuff related to modern wrestling, but not much.
Well, at least we know that next episode, being episode 3, I think, we are going to cover the wrestling community.
Yeah. So now we're on the main event. Finally, I can finally finish this up because I'm tired. I want to go and eat some.
Yeah. Yep.
So the final match, the main event, Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee, consisting Undisputed Era is, you guys should know by now. Team McAfee consisting of Pat McAfee, the NXT champions, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, the Bald Connection, and Pete Dunne. So football player, 2 bald guys, and Pete Dunne. So we had before the match we had a very good video package highlighting the match, and in that package Finn Balor said, "It's easy for the mice to play when the cat's away, but the cat is back and look what I drag in." That's a pretty nice quote. I hope he wrote that himself. If a writer wrote this, then he's pretty smart, but I hope Finn did that himself. So, and the video package was good, the music was good, I liked it, and so now the Undisputed Era comes out. Pat McAfee's team comes out, and O'Reilly and Pete Dunne are gonna start the match, and they're having a good grappling match. And then Pete Dunne, he's wrenching O'Reilly's fingers, and he's using the cage to hurt him. Somebody is using the freaking cage, and nobody's using any gimmicks until a certain point in the match, which we'll get to. And Lorcan enters the double cage. It's him, Danny Burch, it's him, Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly, and of the Undisputed Era. Now Lorcan is in the cage, double cage, and the heels are dominating through this. Oney Lorcan is quite quick. The heels are beating the shit out of O'Reilly, and I'm actually liking this match. And now Bobby Fish came in and made a good comeback with a lot of Muay Thai. He specializes in that stuff. For the kind of people that like that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing those people like, as a wise man would say. Now there are too many things happening at the same time to make notes. And then Danny Burch comes in, and they're taking out gimmicks, and I'm like, are you serious? Why? Why do we need gimmicks? So now, Danny Burch takes out a bag, and they have 2 cricket bats inside them. And why would there be 2 cricket bats underneath a wrestling ring?
Because they are both from
England.
The UK.
No, Oney is from the US, but Danny Burch is from the UK.
Oh, what? Okay.
Well, we also have cricket here in South Africa.
Yeah. My My dad is actually on a cricket team.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm questioning why there's a cricket bat underneath the wrestling ring, and then they take out another one. And I think O'Reilly has some kind of submission hold. Do you remember what submission hold he had?
Was it the leg lock?
Might as well have been. But anyway,
it was either targeting the leg or it was a armbar. It was one of them.
Yeah, he had one of those holds on. I think Danny Burch. Yeah, it was Danny Burch, and he was selling, and he was screaming in pain. It made it look like it hurt. I like that. And then Pete Dunne jumped on him to break the hold. And now Burch finally picks up the cricket bat and hits O'Reilly with it. And Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan literally say cheers with the cricket bat, say do that with them like holding a drink. And now Roderick Strong, I'll call him Roddy on my notes, and he makes a comeback. And then Roddy was doing this spot where the two bald guys were laying on the ropes of each ring, and Pete Dunne was laying on the side of the cage in between the ring. And then Roddy is running back and forth, hitting them in the head. And then Roddy tries to run into Roddy gets in the first ring, and he tries to run into Oney, but then Oney throws him up into the structure. I think it might have been a flapjack or something like that. And then I said, I like this match again. Until Pat McAfee comes out. Yeah, that's basically what he did. And I like this match until Pat McAfee came out with a freaking table. Just when I said I was enjoying this again.
He had a table for each member of the Undisputed Era.
That's what I wrote down here.
This was... Look, if you're going to have a table each to target each member of the Undisputed Era, right? Then you put each one through each individual table that has their name on it. Otherwise, you don't do it at all. Like, hello?
I did notice that, but I didn't particularly take issue to it because I was trying to cut off as much time, at least having taken extensive notes, because this is like 2 hours before we started. So now, goddamn.
And now the actual match actually does officially start.
And I said that all these gimmicks and weapons are making me scared for the AEW Blood and Guts thing that they're eventually gonna do. That it'll be all gimmicks, they're all gonna hit each other with gimmicks, and they're gonna go through tables, and nobody's gonna sell anything, and nothing's gonna make sense. That's the fear that I have for that match coming up one of these days.
I'll just say this now. I don't mind weapons being brought in for this match if this was a match that was ending a rivalry. If this was a match that was being booked like how the Hell in a Cell is supposed to be fucking booked, Jesus Christ, right? As a match that is ending a feud between two groups of people, right? I wouldn't mind in that case weapons being brought in, because at that point in time, everyone will be wanting to basically kill each other. So weapons being brought in, I wouldn't mind in that case. But throughout the two WarGames matches we've had tonight, nothing about them screams to me that the feuds are coming to an end, and nothing about it screams to me that weapons were absolutely needed. You know?
Yes. So I don't like the gimmicks. I don't like them coming in with the gimmicks. So Pat moonsaults onto Roddy on one of the tables. I don't know exactly which table it was.
He put him through the table that had Roderick's name on it.
Okay. So Cole came in and he's now taking up more gimmicks. And I don't even remember if he used them or not. So the match is finally starting, and Cole made a good looking comeback. I like that. It was pretty good. And Cole and McAfee.
The fire extinguisher.
Yeah, he was spraying everybody from outside the cage. And Cole and McAfee was staring down at each other. And then Dunn gets in the way, and then he starts fight Cole. But then he tries to hit his finish bitter end, but then Cole counters it with a DDT, which looked great. I like that. And then Cole tried to hit last shot, but then McAfee grabbed him, and then Pete Dunne gives Cole an enziguri, and then O'Reilly hits Dunne with a chair, and then he's yelling at McAfee, talking shit to him, and then like, you can't beat me, you're nothing, we are Undisputed Era, you can't beat. I liked how they were baby faces, but they had heel tendencies. That's what they should do with Roman Reigns. We're going to talk about that in a future episode. Maybe how to book Roman Reigns as a baby face so he's shouting at McAfee and he's talking shit to him. And then Cole comes in and hits him with a chair. And then they all have a big brawl with another fake NXT chant. Nice job there. And then somebody got blockbusted by Oni Lorcan. And then fast forward a few minutes because I had to pick up some time, and then when I fast forward to when Pat McAfee did this nice looking chop block on Cole. Josh, do you mind doing a demonstration with that teddy bear of yours? Huh? I can't hear you.
Shit.
There we go, I hear you now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. You want me to do a demonstration about a chop block.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Oh, hang on. I can move this down. Oh, Jesus. Boy. Oh, God. Down we go. Stay back. Oh my God. Stay there.
Never mind it. It's fine. It's fine. You can just look up on YouTube how they do a chop block. Where's my cursor? So now,
well, that is basically what a chop block is.
So basically, you're standing up. You're a distance from your opponent. He's got his back turned to you, and then you run to him with your shoulder going into this part of his leg, and then he's supposed to fall on his back and take a bump like that. So that's what Pat McAfee did. So now,
which I tried to show, but I failed at it miserably. Anyway.
McAfee is trying to give Cole no. McAfee has a figure 4 on Adam Cole, and then he reverses into his own submission hold, and then Pete Dunne makes a save, and the bald guys are sitting up a table, and then I'll fast forward a few seconds, and then Bobby Fish did this really nice looking roundhouse kick to Danny Burch, and then Cole jumped on one of the tables in the second ring, and then McAfee tried to superplex Adam Cole, but then he pushed him into the table in the first ring. And now the bald guys and Pete Dunne are laying on the far side of the cage from the second ring, and Fish and O'Reilly and Cole each run into them and do moves to them. And then the Undisputed Era is beating up Pat McAfee, and then they have a big brawl. And then Cole gives Pat McAfee a neck breaker, and Roderick Strong gives Pat McAfee a suplex in the other ring, and then they have a big brawl, and McAfee jumps off the top of the cage. He did a forward flip of the cage onto everybody, and then everybody's selling, taking the blow, and then Bobby Fish speared Danny Burch through the table in between the two rings, and Cole gave McAfee a Panama Sunrise for a 2 count, and then fast forward. Looks like you have an issue with that. Wanna tell me?
Pat McAfee, right, who is having his second match, right, is kicking out. of Adam Cole's finisher. This should have been the ending of this fucking match.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I didn't
why have him kick out for? I just don't understand it.
Me neither. So I fast forward a few minutes, and then there's a chair sitting flat on top of Oni and O'Reilly, and then no, on top of Oni Loken, and then Kyle O'Reilly jumped knee first on top of Oni, and then pinned him for the win. So then they beaten the Pat McAfee group.
Yeah.
It looks like Josh Jenkins here is going to give us a reenactment of the move. Hopefully it doesn't break anything. What is that?
Jesus Christ. No, I can't get the camera angle.
Okay, and so anyways, Undisputed Era is victorious. I previously thought before I watched this match that McAfee's team won, but and I wouldn't have liked that if Pat McAfee won. They did what they needed to do here, and they beat Pat McAfee's team. So a Rasslin for this match, I will give it a 7, and Logic I'll give it a 1 because of the gimmicks and all the kicking out of finishes and all that. So what's your scale?
Wrestling, I'll give this match a 8, which is probably the highest rating I've given yet to any match on this podcast. And the Logic, I'll give it a 4, actually.
Yeah. So for this overall show, I thought this was a good show, mostly from the wrestling. I haven't watched NXT, so I don't know exactly what's going on. So I can't. For what I saw, I will give this whole pay-per-view a wrestling. I'll give it a 7, and Logic I'll give it a 4. I'll give so wrestling 7. As a matter of fact, 8. Rasslin 8, Logic 4. And you?
You know what? I'll just go with that rating because that's not really far off, really. So.
Yeah. So good show, guys. Keep this up. And next week we are going to talk about the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, and the problems with it, and this war mentality that they've been indoctrinated with. And we're gonna debunk all that stuff, and we're gonna give some rants on it. So hopefully I'm in the mood No, we're gonna give this a community. We're gonna slap the whole IWC and fucking say what's wrong with it.
Yes, and I will save what I have to say about it for then, but expect me to be very pissed off to say the least.
So I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Rasslin and Logic. A reminder, follow us on all our social media in the descriptions. Yeah. Join our Discord, like, subscribe, and listen on all the 10 podcasting platforms that we've managed to get ourselves on. And we will see you in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching, and bye-bye. Ooh.